Hey guys, fifth set now in the Winners League Finals, and KT sends out the Terminator. I will eat your brains.
He's not a zombie.
Well, the Terminator still eats your brains. Well, you know, if the Terminator's like an Arnold Schwarzenegger mecha zombie. Come on. But anyway, Flash, the Arnold Terminator mecha zombie in question, is going to be playing for KT Rolster at the 12. Believe he was at the 12 o'clock in orange, while he's going to be at 8 o'clock in red. TVT coming at you, and I think this is going to be MBCGame's best shot right here to take Flash out of this. If C managed to take Flash out, he is going to, he's going to be brought back home, and then they're going to take him to a very special place where very, very beautiful nubile young ladies will...
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, give him their ministrations and attentions.
What?
That's my dream. That's my dream. If I was the hero of a team,
that's your pro gamer dream.
Yeah, that's my pro gamer dream.
So C is actually both these guys are stellar TVT players. So I think this will be a great matchup. This is the TVT that everyone wants to see. Even people who say TVT is boring, you got to admit this is a stellar match. But he is going against a very fresh Flash. I mean, fresh Flash. That's hard to say. But yes, Flash hasn't played any games today, so he's ready to go. He's been in the back probably pumping weight, saying, I'm going to take down C. Yes, in his zombie Terminator way. That's what he was doing. But we'll see what happens on Neo Moon Glaive. I don't know this map too well, and Ranchin informed me before the match that he doesn't know it too well either. So going to be a lot of fun surprises in store. Just like, hey, where did those minerals come from? Awesome. But yes, C has to do this. He has to take down Flash, because if C goes down, the Terran tag team falls, and then MBC will be forced to, well, I don't want to say scrape the barrel, because they have some good players, but they're going to have to go lower than they want to. They'll have to go to Jaehoon. They're going to have to go to Hyun. They're going to have to go to some players they don't normally go to win their games.
Yeah, but of course there's always the odd chance that on one of the maps that are left, one of the guys have some sort of insane snipe strategy set up just to sets and pick Flash off. You gotta do that against a team that like KT that has a Flash, or a team like Quaston that has a Jadon. You gotta set up a strategy to snipe somebody. So let's see, both players like going light on the refineries right now. So they're probably gonna go for factory into expansion strategies, both of them. But yeah, as I'm saying, just really hard going to be for MBC. If C doesn't manage to do this, it's going to be really hard for MBC to take this out, because Flash, 3 kill for Flash, it's like breakfast. He just wakes up, three kills a team, goes back home. But yeah, so he's probably already pumped up like hell, as Nuke has said, drunk his little motor oil that he drinks every match. And C's going to send out his barracks yet again. I think Flash 6 will be doing the same, but he's sending out his barracks to Scalpel, but he's doing that. C, managing to get through with the... a CV scout almost, but it gets picked off just past those Marines. Did spot the factory coming down. Does not know the CV's on the gas, though, so he can't be too sure. And this could be even an opportunity for Flash if he wanted to maybe try to fake C out, although I don't think he's going to try to do that. Flash is not really the type of player that does that. He just goes for standard, plays his standard game, because he knows that's all he needs. He just needs to play a standard game in StarCraft, and he can win that way. Sometimes he gets beaten, but it's an insane rarity, especially in a situation like this. It's basically whenever Flash has to perform, really, really has to perform, he does.
Yeah, his level of play is just atrocious at times. And I've seen his versus Terran on this map before. I think it was against C on this map, actually, in the Pro League. He just completely dominated him. So that's why it's so crucial for C to get this done. If C can't take down Flash, Flash, he doesn't have any weaknesses. As we were talking about earlier, his versus Protoss is pretty much his weakness. If you can even say that, I don't think I'd consider him having any weaknesses. So that's why it's so difficult to prepare a snipe strategy, as you said. I'm sure they have somebody in mind to do the snipe, but still, it's just so much more difficult when your opponent doesn't have a weakness. Almost every other player, every other pro has a weakness of some kind. but there's a select few who don't, and Flash is one of those few. So Flash is getting his expansion up. Luckily, C is going to scout this. So both guys going for very similar builds. But another factory coming up for C, so I think he's going to put on some additional pressure, maybe try to stop this expansion from mining too much. And he already has a few vultures out, so I think he's going to try to sneak those by and get some damage by sniping some SCVs.
Yeah, so far just players getting their expansions going. Flash going to get his command center flooding off. And C spotted that with his barracks, so pretty good going there for him. But it's just going to be a question now of, pardon the strange appearance, sudden accent appearance. Oh my god. But Flash is set up defensively. C's going to go vulture heavy yet again with speed first. So he's going to try to do what he mentioned to against GG, trying to pick off some forces. But Flash, he learns from the matches of his teammates, knows not to try to push out with those two initial tanks, keep him in defense. And if he does so, he's going to have himself a choke to work with, basically make sure that the vultures do not surround his troops. And he has some Marines as well to help defend. So C's not going to be able to go out there and get that surrounded, get that damage done, but he has the speed on his vulture, so if Flash moves out, he might find himself in a position to do some damage to Flash and try to get the upper hand right away. Flash is going to start pushing out, has 3 tanks, several Marines, and a couple vultures as well. See, not quite sure if he knows this is coming at him or not. He is going to spot this now with the SCV, so he might go for this. If Flash runs right down the middle with all of these troops, he might find himself surrounded by these vultures. See, already moving out with those. But overall, it's just going to be a question of what he does. Planting down mines as well on the right side. Interestingly enough, just going to try to hold position and get a scout. Also planning in a little bit closer to the middle to his own base. So make sure he knows where the position is at all times. We saw Flash go for 2 machine shops. So he's going to continue focusing on tanks apparently rather than going heavily on the vultures.
Yeah, C is trying to stay one step ahead of Flash right now by laying mines everywhere. Of course, he can't let himself be spotted. If Flash spots these mines coming down, he's going to know, okay, it's not safe to move out, but okay, he's moving into the minefield, backing off with epic star sense. He just seizes just out of range of those mines so he can come in with a scan and get rid of those. But wow, with the amount of mines that are out, it's going to be so long before Flash can do any kind of a push. So even though, I think he wanted to get a lot of economic damage done with these vultures, he's still going to get a lot of damage done, just denying Flash from moving in. Flash, he's going to run right into more mines. Oh, luckily he put his Marines out first so he could find out where those mines were. But yeah, he's just sacrificing Marines. There are so many mines out that doesn't even matter. But Flash still trying to get this push done. It might be a little bit stubborn from him, but still he's sniping the mines. He's still getting rid of these mines and inching forward bit by bit. I'm not sure if he got another scan there or not, but yeah, I think he did. He was just sniped another mine, but still plenty of mines out for C, so he's going to hold the front a little bit longer, but Flash looks determined. Flash looks determined to get his siege tanks in. He knows he has more tanks than C at the moment, but C has such a large army moving up. He takes out all of the tanks from Flash. Flash has reinforcements coming in, but it's not going to be enough, and C takes the battle in the middle. It's going to be difficult to fight off these tanks, though, so I think he'll have to back off for the moment, but still not backing off.
Looking into going to move in northward. Well, there was a transition to me there, and I didn't notice it whatsoever. But Vulture's going to run in right inside the natural expansion, going to force those SCVs off, and beautiful attack here by C, putting in the pressure. Tank's going to be forced to move back, while C going to meanwhile leave himself with positions to try to get his own tank number up, adding in a 4th factory right now, has an army down there as well, so he might be try to go for an upgrade advantage alongside, but he's still severely lacking in tanks. The mines coming in very close to those tanks. Oh, picking some of those off, trying to not quite managing to pick in some more off, but still whittling down the number bit by bit, moving in northward some more tanks, but Flash still has the larger tank army. So if it comes down to a brutal tank battle and nothing else, still going to be in a good position. Actually going to expand. Going to be the first one to expand for the second time towards that 10 o'clock position. So because he knows there was some economic damage done to him, he was forced to not mine his nat for a while. So he's going to try to be a little bit ahead in expansion. C, meanwhile, going to expand at the 6 as well. So he's keeping on top of this, adding in yet another factory. And yeah, it's just going to be a question whether C can keep up in troop count. He's staying a little bit in the middle. I'm just worried that he might get pincered attacked here because Flash's forces on the north as well as the west, moving in some more vultures down. Not quite sure whether he has that many vultures this time around. He's going to try to get him close to the tanks. So we're going to try to plant in mines towards the northern vultures, doing good mines there. At least picking off one tank and pushing an SCV scout there to die for tanks to at least spot him in. But he only has a couple of tanks there that he's just trying to hold for as long as possible. They're going to get picked off. Flash with a huge number of tanks. So I'm just wondering whether C has enough overall. He has a lot of those mines out there, so Flash is going to have to be very careful moving out, planting even more mines. C has some tanks that unfortunately get caught during sieging, instantly get picked off. C still being very aggressive with his mines, picking some more tanks off, trying to go in for do some more economic harassment. Not enough vultures, unfortunately, not going to manage to give up the ramp. Almost got a mine planted there. Scans going off. Flash moving around with scans, picking off all those mines, and I think the mining field might have been the last defense for Siege. Just doesn't have enough tanks. Heavy tank, he plants down to Siege, get picked off, trying to move in very close to those mines, still hitting with the mines. So desperately with the mines, managed to push Flash back, although Flash still with some stellar micromanagement, managing to keep his tanks alive. Insane battles going up on the middle on all sides, and Flash still pumping tanks like crazy.
Yeah, this is where Flash is really in his element. When he's being attacked on all fronts like this is when he can really shine, because you just see how well he sniped some of the mines that we're going to drag into those tanks. He can just, as soon as he has a lot more vultures out, we're going to see that coming out in spades. But it looks like he's coming down with mostly tanks right now. Yeah, he has a lot of Terran out there, but the tank's coming down, going to try to get rid of those mines. C is doing an excellent job laying mines, getting some more harassment over there near the 9 o'clock position, getting rid of most of those SCVs, but Flash, very luckily, he was fast to run those SCVs to the natural. But if C can keep on that constant pressure, oh man, almost dragging a mine into all those SCVs that were running back. So Flash, I think he's actually on the back foot right now. He's forced to defend. He has some troops in the middle, but he's not going to be able to push those further for a while. More mines, and look at the guys on the MBC bench. They're clutching their fists saying, wow, you might be able to take out Flash. If they take out Flash, this would just be monumental for the team. But and C is still in here getting some economic damage done. So if C plays his cards right and stops the counter harass, I think he'll be okay.
Yeah, C, critically enough, has not been harassed at all so far. Moving up very far north, tanks to support vultures, laying down mines and acting as spotters, forcing the tanks to fire on the mines, and even using Splash on his own tanks. There's a lot of tanks in there. C doing a pretty good job. Oh, Wraith tech switch. I saw some Goliaths out there for Flash, but they're not nearly enough for the position here. Going to move in there, find those tanks. There's one SCV to repair, just finding a weak tank there, trying to pick that off. Some Goliaths coming in, though. So that Wraith is not going to be overall too effective. I think he just decided, I'm going to put one Wraith out there, see if I can do some damage with it before he went for his dropships. Hope that doesn't come back to bite him, though. But at the very least, he's going to be able to force that barracks back as well, too. So he's not going to be able to act as a spotter. Goliath's going to do pretty much exactly the same thing on the opposite side for Flash. C going to expand a second time at that lower right-hand position. He's going to try to keep economically ahead of Flash. And I think this is actually a good idea on his part. He's holding in the middle pretty well. Still has a lot of mines out there on that right side, so Flash is going to have to be very careful if he decides to move towards that. But Flash has a science facility up, has his drop tech ready, so he might start getting for dropships. So he still might actually, if you manage to get enough dropships out there, might damage and heavily threaten those low right-hand positions. Of course, if Flash manages to get some dropships out there and take that out, that's going to be it for C right there. He's going to move a little bit more forward, using those vultures beautifully to plant mines at the front to force those tanks back into a position where he can more easily siege at them. Unfortunately, that engineer bay in a bad position for C is going to be forced to back off of those tanks there.
So I'd say Flash has a slight disadvantage right now, but he's done a pretty good job picking off troops. In the middle, you saw he just picked off a single tank, backed off. Picked off a single vulture, backed off. Because the more he whittles down that army, the better off he's going to be. He is taking his own fourth base, a little bit behind C, but it's not going to matter as long as he can keep that troop count low. I mean, he still has troops in the middle. He has mines around the map himself, so some of those epic mines we saw earlier might just happen to C if he bumbles into those, which is very, very possible. C, he does have that fourth base up sooner, so he's going to have the economic advantage, but the question will be, how is he going to use it? Is he going to go for dropships and try to drop inside the main, or is he going to try to just expand all over the map? He has a lot of options at this point. Looks like he's still continuing Wraith production, but I didn't see okay, there's a control tower on that starport, but I don't think he has Cloak just yet, so I don't think this is fully committed from C trying to defend his base there. And Flash is actually curling down the map with his entire army. He's going to come out here with his entire army and try to push through the natural, I think. And C better be ready for it, better have those Wraiths there, better have all of his units there, because he's going to need all of them to defend against this. But Flash, he has his barracks in there to scout where he can drop. So as soon as Flash has a dropship, I think he's going to try to edge himself into that main.
C has his initial dropship out there right now, so he's might start going for some drops. Not quite sure what he's going to do it with only one. Might want to get some more dropships. Flash has his own dropships out there, but both players kind of trying to set up positions, while C kind of has a sort of a, I wouldn't say kind of a U-shaped position, I guess. He's going to have forces on the west and the south, but east on the south, I mean. But Flash is going to move. It has a huge troop. Going to move to the right side, try to push all these forces back, try to eliminate this position that C has on that side. And you look at the minimap, you think C, he has a lot of forces there, but a lot of that is actually just mines. He has some reinforcements coming as well, but Flash moving out with a huge troop, and if he manages to kick all these forces on, going to be in position, more mines. C desperately trying to set up some more mines at the front, doing some damage, but still getting out-sieged a little bit, and Flash managed to drag some mines into that and whittling this force down. C going to expand yet again in the lower right. Look at this guy. He knows, hey, you know what? Even if I'm going to lose an engagement, I have to be a base ahead. I have to be economically stronger than this guy, or else I'm getting in a bad position. Flash weapons 1 right now. I saw he's weapons 2 on the way. Didn't quite see the weapons upgrades on C. Kind of missed that. Was paying attention to the epic battle, but going to see that. Oh, he flashed past the vulture way too fast. But a couple of dropship out there from Flash. He's just going to take advantage of this maneuverability factor, just completely bypass the mines. Probably going to go for the low right-hand position, try to harass those bases.
Yeah, this new base from C could end up coming back to bite him. That might have been a little bit too early because it is going to be dropped right now. I'm not even sure if it's completed. The CC might be completed right now. I'm not sure if it is or not, but Flash is dropping down here. CC not completed, so is C going to cancel it? I'm not sure if he's going to cancel that base or not. But yeah, he's coming down with troops. I don't think he's going to cancel. I think he's going to try to defend, but it could be very, very difficult. Flash did a very good job just destroying all of the units in the middle of the map with a very nice push. And that command center not yet canceled, but we'll see if I think C pretty much has to cancel that or he's going to lose all those minerals. C coming in with even more troops. Clutch play from him. He does protect this command center. He's going to have to come in with another SCV to finish, but he is going to have that base up and running. And Flash, at this point, I think he's just going to go army, 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 army. I don't think he's going to worry about another base. Maybe over there at the 2 o'clock position, he's wedging himself over there. Yeah, he is taking another base, actually. So he thinks he has enough troops to attack and take his base at the same time, and he might be right if he does the right dropship play.
Yeah, I just think he's going much more heavy on the drops. He has 3. A 4th one's going to be on the way. Gonna, get some forces there of C. He's going to manage to clear all these mines up. Okay, not quite all of them, but lose a couple of Goliaths there. But still has a very large army. Going to continue army production. There's a 1 mine there waiting to kill all these tanks. It's not going to happen, though.
No.
Yeah, Scan's also in there. So he's going to be very careful to try to keep this army alive. Pick up the base, which C has spotted, though. But Flash moving south with a huge troop. Some dropships with reinforcements come in for C, but Flash dropping his own troops, surrounding all of this. C gonna lose his entire force here. Flash, oh my god, look at that. Oh man, I think any advantage that C might have had earlier on just got eliminated there with Flash with this huge army coming in. He has map control at this point with a dropship. Those dropships are so critical for him right now. He has map control, he has maneuverability, he has 4 dropships milling around, gonna be able to drop forces all over the place, and these low right-hand position bases are going to be threatened now. SCV is going to come off the line to come in close and engage the tanks. They are going to be able to clean them up, but even more tanks on the high ground, so C lost a lot of SCVs that are trying to engage those tanks, so he's losing his bases. Flash even dropping all over the place, trying to take that base to at the 4 o'clock. And when that reinforcement that C sends out, they just get picked off, or at least very least whittled down. So I think just Flash has a higher troop production going in at the moment. Has a large troop coming in. C might manage to clean this up for now, but whenever I look at the amount of army each player has, it always seems like C has not quite enough.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I mean, Flash seems to have the ability to bend the game to his will to get out more troops. It's like, oh, 1 Goliath coming out of that factory? I don't think so. I want 4 Goliaths coming out right now. So they just come out of the factory because I don't know where he came up with all those troops, but he had way more than C for that engagement in the middle, especially that big drop. He didn't lose hardly anything in that drop. He whittled. C finally cleaned it up. He cleaned up the attack, but Flash, in the meantime, he's taken the entire top half of the map. So he's actually ahead of C as far as bases go right now, which is kind of incredible. But Flash, he kind of double expanded while he was attacking. So it's going to be a little bit risky for him. He's going to have a tough time defending this, I think, unless he gets 8 Goliaths out of each factory at the same time, of course. 8 tanks out of each factory, but he is coming into the middle with his entire troop, has a pretty sizable troop in the middle, and he's going to try to get the contain and harass another base at the same time, just to try to keep C out of his bases. As long as he keeps C out of his bases right now, I think he's going to be okay, loading up so many dropships. So I think we're going to see another deadly, deadly drop from him, most likely down at the 5 o'clock position. He's moving down right now with a ground army as well. All the troops he couldn't fit into his dropships, he's just moseying along with them. Man, I'm starting to pick up your southern stuff. I got to stop.
Get a merp. No, I'm sorry.
Get her done.
Get her done. Oh God, no. Let's not get into that. Dear God, no. It's 2:30 a.m. in the morning. I no. Anything but that. There are limits to my insanity, my friend. But C, meanwhile, has gotten his own decent dropship fleet now. But Flash is like he's stringing him along now. Like Flash, like, am I gonna move towards the base? Am I gonna move? You don't know. Am I gonna move? I don't know. I'm gonna move back right now. I'm gonna move forward again. I don't know. You don't know. I don't know. And C just doesn't really. C can't really go for an aggressive action because Flash has map control, has troops all across the map. So even if C wants to drop on something, there, for one thing, turrets all over the damn place, so he can't really drop across those troops. And Flash finally decided to commit, gonna pick up this 4 o'clock base, picked that off. There are some tanks in their dropship. C was ready for this, but I'm not sure. Think Flash might have enough. Yeah, Flash has more troops moving in from the ground forces as well. C getting it whittled down here, and oh man, I think that's last ditch effort drop play gonna come in from him. Flash gonna pick up a base for himself at the 3 o'clock, gonna come in reinforcement, try to save this base, might barely manage to do that, but I think Flash is gonna have even more reinforcements coming in. Huge drop coming on top of this. GG from C Shield. Oh man.
Yep. Well, Terran tag team goes down, and now Flash has the rest of MBC to deal with.
GG. Whoops. A daisy.